digital arena, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
Hello, ho, ho, ho. It is a very merry time in Pittsburgh because the Steelers are never going to lose again. They look awesome. Welcome to the Donut Bag Podcast, part of the Sportscast Network. If you want to, as you can see, I am flying solo tonight. If you want to join in on the conversation, feel free. Go to youtube.com/Joey Bag of Donuts VN7F. Or I believe you could also reply on Twitter. And yeah, let's join in on the conversation. Steelers 28, Dolphins 15. Boy, this was just fun. It was just fun. A lot of the games in the past, like let's say 3 or 4 years, have been painful to watch because we have lousy quarterbacks, or the team just sucks, or whatever's going on, or it's just even when they win, it wasn't very exciting. It was nerve-wracking, and you just get so angry, and it's like, why am I doing this? And games like last night are why I'm a fan. I can't speak for anyone else. It was just fun. It was just fun. It was nice to have a game that was in the bag and didn't have to worry about it, even though the Dolphins, I don't want to say try to make it a game because they just flat out gave up, but still, they sort of kept it close toward the end. So let's talk about before the game. Oh, come on. Do not do this show for 10 seconds crap. Before the game, there was a very significant development in the week before the game, and oh my God, stop disappearing, Banner. Before the game, the very significant thing is TJ Watt got taken out by his own team. I don't know what the deal with that is. What the deal with that was. Do we even know what happened? But they did dry needling procedure, whatever the heck that is, and it went wrong, and what is going on? Boy, I am all kinds of a mess with these banners. And why are we showing? Oh, I'm just gonna, you know what? Maybe we won't have banners. This is what happens. I'm just going to. So what the heck happened with that TJ Watt thing? Nobody wants to say. Nobody wants to say, but it's clearly somebody screwed up because they punctured a lung and he ended up in the hospital. What the hell was that? Well, I want answers. I mean, that's ridiculous. They almost, I mean, the Steelers record. Oh my goodness, with these banners. The Steelers record without TJ Watt before was like 1-11 or something like that. And I get it that people said, well, they're better equipped to handle losing TJ Watt now because they have Herbig and Jack Sawyer, the modern day warrior, and so they have quality depth because the people they were bringing out behind TJ Watt in the past were like that Tuska dude and that other, like a bunch of scrubs basically. So they said that we were a little bit better equipped for that, but still, that is a big deal. Another big deal was that Harmon was was possibly not going to play, and he ended up not playing. And he is a major run stuffer. So we thought, and the Dolphins have basically they started off bad, and then they won 4 in a row, and that was basically on the strength of their running game. So it's like, oh my God, it's going to be Buffalo all over again. They're just going to run wild on us, and there's nothing we could do. And that wasn't the case at all. That the credit to the Steelers defense for shutting that down. So kudos to the Steelers defense. The other big headline before the game was the temperature, the weather. The Steelers, the Pittsburgh temperature was like, I don't know, 10, 15 degrees, something like that, very low. And the funny thing was the Dolphins and Tua are like 0 in a million when the temperature is below 40 degrees. Well, the temperature was way below 40 degrees. I mean, the difference between 10 and 40 degrees is huge, especially, gosh, these past couple of days, it's been extremely cold, and it was, so that was going to be a factor. And it was a factor. And I think it really shut the Dolphins down. Kev PhD says the defense kept the game tight until the offense could figure out how to open up on the Fins D. Yeah, it was close in the beginning. The score was only 7-3 at halftime. A lot of punts, a lot of 3 and outs. Both teams were not doing well. Tua had a interception, and that was one thing that was very evident to me during this game. I watch a lot of NFL. I'm a huge fan of the NFL, huge fan of the Steelers, obviously, but a huge fan of the NFL. I have been all my life. This is, as a kid, I would get graph paper around this time every year, and I would list all the teams, and I would chart their wins and losses, and I would calculate tiebreaker scenarios. I'm weird, man. I'm weird. I'm a sports weirdo. But anyway, so this is my time of year. I love this kind of stuff, and my ideal Sunday is sitting down for 10 hours and watching football, and I watch Red Zone. And, so you see bits and pieces of games, and I knew that the reputation of Tua is, well, he sucks and he's overrated, and, no, definitely not worth that crazy big contract he has. I think he's making like $53 million a year, some crazy thing like that. But seeing him last night, wow, he is every bit as bad as I thought. Holy crap. He threw a duck right to Asante Samuel Jr. as Aaron Rodgers pointed out, he has to call him Asante Samuel Jr. because he played against Asante Samuel Sr. That's how old Aaron Rodgers is. But yeah, Tua is bad, and now they're talking about that they've been officially eliminated, that they've talked about he's going to be benched. I don't blame them. Even Mike McDaniel, who also should be fired. That guy sucks. Mike McDaniel said that play was not good enough. And the funny thing is, if you look at the if you look at the stats, Tua finished 22 of 28 with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And yeah, if you saw that, it's like, wow, he must have had a good game. No, he did not. All those stats he got were in garbage time. We're in basically the entire fourth quarter was garbage time because the Steelers were up 28-3. It was just, man, he is just bad. I don't know if it's all the concussions, all the injuries, but I mean, he was the first. I mean, the phrase was "tank for Tua" when he first came out of college. tank for Tua. People were actively the Dolphins were actively losing just to get him, and he's ugh. I've never been impressed by him. Like I don't get him and Bryce Young. Like what do you people see? Bryce Young is smaller than most 8-year-olds. He is a tiny dude. You can't have a tiny dude running around in the NFL. It only works a couple times. Russell Wilson and sort of kind of Kyler Murray, and that's basically it. You can't have tiny dudes running around. It's a big person's game. Quarterbacks have to have some kind of height to see over all these giants. It ain't working. That's why, by the way, I think Russell Wilson should when he retires, he should go to the Hall of Fame because he broke that mold. For him to be that small and to be that successful, that is extremely impressive. Even though it didn't, well, it sort of kind of worked out here in Pittsburgh until it didn't. But those were the things going in, and I think the weather did affect the Dolphins. I think it did. But the thing is, come on. The thing is, the Dolphins came out hitting hard, like really hard. It was surprising because you thought that the Dolphins would be a finesse team or something like that. No, they came out hitting hard. And okay, let's see if this banner works now. Come on, banner, do your thing. There we go. See, this is why I hate doing this. Oh my goodness, with this stupid banner. Okay, we're just not going to have a banner. That's all. We're just not going to have a banner because it keeps disappearing because this stupid timer thing. Okay. Yeah. So the game started with Dolphins got the ball first, 4 plays and a punt, and then the Steelers 3 and outs, and then the Tua interception. The Steelers did not convert that into any points. They had a 13 play drive for 39 yards. The highlight of that drive was a 22-yard pass from Aaron Rodgers to deep in the middle to DK Metcalf. They threw to the middle. Oh my God, they threw to the middle. But the drive stalled at the Miami 41, and the drive stalled. Okay, this was the drive where they were in field goal territory. They were at the Miami 33. And then Rodgers takes a sack and loses 9 yards and takes him out of field goal range. People were not happy about that. So they ended up punting, and the punt didn't go well. But the Dolphins didn't do anything with it. Another five play drive for 15 yards and a punt. Steelers went 3 and out. The Dolphins had a 7-play drive or 33 yards. They were getting some success with running. Not a lot. They weren't running down the Steelers' throat, but they were getting some success. You got to credit Nick Herbig. He made some big plays. Alex Highsmith made some big plays. You got to credit the Steelers defense because they didn't, they gave up some yards rushing, but not a lot. So, so after the field goal drive, Steelers get the ball and have a 12-play, 60-yard drive that resulted in a touchdown. The big play here was so this is the drive that ended with the tush push, which I believe we're calling, because it's Pittsburgh, we're calling the Steel City shove. I like that. I've heard different things, but let's go with Steel City shove. Sure. So Connor Haywood coming. I still hate the play. I still hate the tush push. And I think it should be banned. I think it's still not football, but Steelers are getting pretty good at it. So maybe they should keep it. I don't know. We'll see. So the Steelers end the first half with a touchdown, and they get the ball back to start the second half. Now, similar thing happened in the Bills game, and then that was a complete disaster. I believe something also similar happened in the Green Bay game where they started with the ball and they just ended up in a disaster. But here they end the first half with a touchdown, and they start the second half with a touchdown, which is just huge. 6 plays, 71 yards. The big play was a Kenny Gainwell 38-yard run off the right tackle. Kenny Gainwell, what can you say about him? Like Aaron Rodgers said after the game, the dude's only making, I think he signed like a 1-year, $1 million contract or something like that. I mean, he is an absolute bargain, and he is doing so well. Poor Jaylen Warren. The dude clearly was sick. He had a flu or something like that. I know they're all playing through injuries right now, but when you're sick as a dog, the last thing you want to do is go run around and play football. So kudos to him for toughing it out. But so this drive ended in a 19-yard touchdown pass, Aaron Rodgers to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Here's what I loved about that play. Not just that Scantling scored, but Rodgers throws it, Scantling catches it, runs into the end zone. And what was the end zone? The end zone was the yellow end zones of when basically that show up this time of year, because Pitt's not playing anymore. There's no high school football being played on it. So because during the college and high school seasons, they just have like generic end zones. And here they had the beautiful yellow end zone with the Steelers logo and the AFC logo. Oh, I loved it. Listen, what's going on here? Obviously the reason is because Pitt and high school plays there, and I have no problem. I'm a diehard Pitt fan, so don't, I'm not complaining about the Steelers, about Pitt playing there. But you could have a Pitt logo on Saturday, wipe it out, and put a Steelers logo on the next day. What, did you guys run out of paint? You want me to run to Home Depot? Like what's going on? You could paint the end zone any way you want. It's like, oh, that would take a lot of work. So what? Stupid. They should have that all the time. So in the second half, and this is basically the best third quarter that the Steelers have had all season. It was probably the worst third quarter that the Dolphins have had all season. They just imploded. And I think at this point, they just gave up. At this point, it was 14-3. And I think that the Dolphins were losing hope. Keep in mind, before the game, the Dolphins only had like a 1% chance of making the playoffs. They had a very tiny chance of making the playoffs. They were 5-7. I'm sorry, 6 and were they 6-7? 6-7. They had a very small chance of even making the playoffs, even if they won. So I don't know what I'm not exactly sure what they thought they were playing for. But anyway, they do a 3-and-out. They get -8 yards, and this was the play. This is the drive where one of the times where Tua got sacked he lost 12. This is a sack by Jalen Ramsey. By the way, Jalen Ramsey, he was all fired up. Jonnu Smith, he was all fired up to play this game. Minkah Fitzpatrick, I'm sure he was fired up too. He got hurt at one point, and when he got hurt, a lot of the Steelers came over to check on him. And after the game, Mike Tomlin got a little emotional and basically said that what they think about Minka, and that they basically say they love and respect him. And I thought that was so nice, because you never know how these things go. You never know when somebody gets traded, what's going on, what really happened. Was it a bad breakup or amicable or what? And it seems very amicable, and it seems like a lot of his former teammates still have a great deal of respect and really like him. So Minka got hurt. They came over to check on him, and I think he was okay. But that was really cool to see that clearly they still care about him, and you don't see that all the time with former teammates. So that was really cool. The next drive is another touchdown by the Steelers. Was this the play? This was the Aaron Rodgers 28-yard pass to DK Metcalf. This was the play. This will be one of the highlights of the year for the Steelers. Rodgers throws it to Metcalf at about, I don't know, like the 15-yard line. He catches it at the 15-yard line or something like that. And it was actually Minka. Minka throws Minka aside. A couple other people try to come after him, and he just pushes them aside because he's a hulking maniac, and he runs into the end zone. It was an incredible play. It's the reason you get someone like a DK Metcalf. He is clearly the strongest wide receiver in the league. Trust me, nobody. DK Metcalf, he's just his muscles have muscles. That's how strong this guy is. So such a cool play, and now it is 21-3. Dolphins have another 3 and outs with another sack. Tua he just sucks. Good Lord. Steelers do yet another touchdown. This was capped by the okay, so it was a 14-yard touchdown run by Jonnu Smith. And so technically, I mean, yes, Smith lined up at running back eventually, but it was basically, I guess they had 5 wides or two wide receivers, three. I don't know, but anyway, one of the tight ends became a running back and he ran it for a touchdown. So that is the Arthur Smith wet dream right there. That is his dream is to do something like that. He loves having tight ends be running backs, and running backs be wide receivers, and wide receivers be tackles. I don't know. He loves that position flexibility. He loves changing things up like that. So this is clearly an Arthur Smith thing. So now it's 28-3. And the only team that loses that would lose a 28-3 is the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. There was no way the Steelers were losing this. The Dolphins score touchdown, 6 plays, 65 yards, taking up 320. At this point, it was garbage time. But the weird thing is, yes, they're down 28-3. The Dolphins. They gave up. What point? So there was 13 minutes still left in the game when they were down 28-3. It is possible to score 25 points. It's very difficult, but it's possible. Dolphins didn't care. They were not in any hurry to drive down the field. They were taking their sweet time. They would eat up the clock. It's like they didn't give a crap. It's like they gave up. They just absolutely gave up. I think that is disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. Mike McDaniel, I think, he seems like a joke. The guy can't even talk. He just seems like a joke, and he should be fired. I'm not sure why they fired the GM instead of him, but he sucks. He's not a head coach. He's in the category of good offensive coordinator, not a good head coach, and he's basically done nothing with the Dolphins. I think they made the playoffs once or something like that. What we do, the Dolphins are a disaster. They're a disaster. The worst thing you could have is a quarterback that you pay a lot of money to that sucks. And that's exactly what the Dolphins have. So what are they going to do? I don't even think they could get rid of Tua for next year. Or if they do, they're going to have a massive cap hit. Great. Just a bad situation. So they score a touchdown. They fail on the 2-point conversion. It's 28-9. Steelers go 3 and out. The Steelers at this point they're just trying to eat the clock. So they're just doing run plays. They're not even trying. Dolphins score another touchdown, 9 plays to 86 yards, 450, taking up 451. Now it's 28-15. They missed a 2-point conversion yet again. At this point, there's yeah. I mean that drive, that touchdown drive took up almost 5 minutes. Like what are you doing? Why aren't you trying to hurry? And then for some reason toward the end, they called all their timeouts and like tried to, I don't know what they were doing. It was very weird. So a very, very convincing win by the Steelers. They've won 2 in a row. Things are looking good. They're in first place in the AFC North. And it all comes down to these next 3 games. And the next game for the Steelers is at Detroit. And I don't know about you, but I think everybody assumes this is going to be a loss. Detroit they are desperate. They are absolutely desperate. Are they even in the playoff? Are they even in the playoffs right now? I don't think they are. I'm going to check right now. But they're fighting for their lives. So they have everything to play for. So it's going to be tough. Then after that, they go to the Browns. And I mean, the Browns are a joke. I know playing the Steelers is their Super Bowl, and they're a pathetic franchise that has nothing to play for, but just to be spoilers every year. And they have a joke of a quarterback situation, a joke of a team, but still, you never know what's going to happen in Cleveland. But I think the Steelers should still win that. And then it'll hopefully might come down all to the last game against the Ravens at home, which is probably, if it is for anything, it's probably going to get flexed out. But God, it would be nice to have a computer that works. The Ravens have a much harder schedule. The Ravens, I believe, host New England Patriots next week. And the Bills, I think, did the Steelers a favor because with the Bills beating the Patriots in New England, that gave them a little. I don't know if that gave them hope to the Bills might still win the AFC East. I'm not sure, but either way, I think that gave the Patriots more of an incentive. Oh, that's a Sunday night game. Ooh, interesting. So next Sunday night, Patriots at Ravens. Then the Ravens go at Green Bay. So that's going to be, I know the Packers just lost Micah Parsons, but still. So that's going to be interesting. And then the last game is at the Steelers. So hopefully the Steelers will have clinched the division, and it'll be a nothing game, and it'll be, Will Howard playing or something like that, or, let's get some Will Howard, some reps or something like that. So, yeah. But still, just remember where we were a year ago at this time. A year ago at this time, they were in the middle of that ridiculous 3 games in 11 days BS where they had to play the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Chiefs, the 2 Super Bowl teams, and the Ravens in 11 days. I mean, the NFL did them so dirty. It was disgusting. And that was last year. They started off strong, and I think the Steelers at one point were 10-3, and they or 10-2 or something like that, and they just fell apart. And they just absolutely fell apart. Here, they had a hiccup. They were 6-6, and they've won the last 2 in a row. So we'll see. Another thing about this game, Aaron Rodgers looked good. I was very concerned in the middle of the year, like right around the Chargers game, that Aaron Rodgers was just going to fall apart, that he was washed. And he's starting with the I think that broken bone in the wrist and the cast and all that, I think that really messed him up. But I think that's better now. And he was just so sharp last night. He's probably the smartest quarterback that's ever lived. He might be. I love that play where the Dolphins had too many men on the field, 12 men on the field, and Aaron Rodgers caught it. So he ran a play real quick, and even the officials didn't know what was going on. And even the refs, he had to tell the refs, like, by the way, you might want to count because there were too many men on the field. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right, thank you. He's just so smart, and he's making good throws. That touchdown to DK Metcalf, the throw to Metcalf was amazing. There was a defensive backup right ready to knock it down or intercept it or whatever. But he threw it at the perfect spot, perfect velocity, perfect placement. It was amazing. He is playing really well right now. He had really good numbers too. Yeah. Right now, the Steelers are the 4 seed, and they would the Chargers would come here. Please. Between right now, the playoff teams are the Chargers, the Bills, and the Texans. Of those 3 teams, I would want the Chargers. I want nothing to do with the Bills because I think the Bills are they're a team of destiny. I think this is going to be their year because Josh Allen is basically putting the whole damn team on his back, and the Texans just look good. As of right now, the Colts and Ravens are out of it. And the Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs. Oh, I'm so happy. When the Chiefs missed the playoffs, were out of the playoffs, it was like in Return of the Jedi when the Emperor died and the entire galaxy just starts having celebrations on every planet or whatever. It's like the evil empire is dead. Love it. The Bengals are just, God, they just gave up. But yeah, so basically the only other teams on the bubble are the Colts and the Ravens. Old man Philip Rivers, what a great story. I'm rooting for Philip Rivers. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Hey, all you guys with dad bods, all you middle-aged guys, unite. This is our time. Philip Rivers is all of us. So we'll see. Yeah, right now the Lions are out of the playoffs. They are also 8-6, but they are 3rd in the NFC North, and it's not looking good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their path is to make the playoffs. They have a 40% chance of making the playoffs. Because the Bears are the number 2 seed. They are first in the NFC North with a 10-4 record. The Packers are the number 7 seed with a 9-4-1 record. The Lions are 3rd in the NFC North with an 8-6 record. So the Lions are going to have to win a lot. So they're very desperate to win this game, and they're a very good team. So I don't have a lot of faith in the Steelers winning this game, but you never know. You never know the way they're playing. You never know the way Aaron Rodgers is playing. Maybe he just keeps heating up. I think the addition of Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Adam Thielen has helped a lot, even though they're not putting up big numbers. Yes, Scantling did score a touchdown, but Thielen's not doing much, but he is helping in other ways. And it's just a better wide receiver group than with that bust Roman Wilson and what other schmuck did they put out there. You can't have too many small people. Calvin Austin, that's it. You're the only small person that's allowed to be wide receiver. That's it. You need some size there. So maybe they have some wide receivers on. We'll see. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and let's celebrate. This is awesome. I'm actually happy. This is supposed to be fun. So I'm glad we actually had a game that was fun, and that's nice. So yeah, we'll see. All right. Thanks. Bye.